It's no doubt that INFJs are a rare and often misunderstood breed, making up only 1 to 2% of the population. And if you're an INFJ yourself, you know that you begin to realize that you're very different from the people around you at a very early age. Yet as a child, we don't think about it much until adulthood hits and you begin asking questions. Welcome back, Psychos. Today, we're going to be talking about INFJs as a child, in the eyes of a certified MBTI practitioner. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel, as well as click the notification bell so that you never miss a video. Number 1. Philosopher's Curiosity. INFJs are wired to question everything, and we mean everything. While most people don't hesitate to accept things at face value, INFJs are known to second-guess all information, even factual points, because of their intuitive and curious nature. Now, it's not to say that all children aren't incredibly curious little creatures, but INFJs tend to take it to the next level by asking themselves deep and meaningful questions early on. Curiosity like, how did we get here, can rarely be fulfilled by a religious story or old folktale. They have a drive to dive much deeper than simple explanations were told as a child. As an INFJ child, or even as an INFJ adult for that matter, will rarely retaliate against information that they're told for means of keeping the peace and avoiding putting other people's opinions down. However, you can bet that when an INFJ is told information that they're skeptical about, they will spend a good amount of time pondering on the information and other possibilities. Not to mention, they will avoid settling for any reasoning that they don't feel is intuitively correct, regardless if they can prove it wrong. Number 2. Extremely imaginative. Imagination is another crucial aspect of a happy childhood, yet in the case of an INFJ child, their imagination can sometimes become overactive, leaving little room to accept reality for what it is. INFJs are led by intuition and gut feelings, yet as a child, these functions aren't entirely developed yet, ultimately leading them to trust ideas, assumptions, or fears that aren't real. INFJ children also have a very difficult time swaying away from what they believe in because it comes from their intuition that they feel inclined to trust. This extreme imagination as an INFJ child is basically the development of an intuitive aspect of the personality type and can serve an INFJ extremely well, including the fact that an INFJ imagination is usually carried through to adulthood, a practice that many adults have difficulty with. Number 3. Perfectionists in school. INFJs are known to be great students, and the few teachers that have the privilege of teaching an INFJ child will probably find themselves baffled at the different ways of thinking an INFJ child can present. The perfectionism nature that all INFJs exhibit begin in mid-childhood, which a drive to be good at everything they do. INFJs don't necessarily have a competitive nature. They are mostly just looking for ways to self-improve and become better than they were before. INFJs are like the silent teacher's pet. Their introverted nature will cause them to rarely put their hand up when they have the answer to the question, yet the work they submit will be top quality. Number 4. The intuitive outcast. INFJ personality types begin to discover that their peers don't think the same as they do by the time middle school rolls around, quickly causing them to feel slightly left out and misunderstood. It's not to say that INFJ kids are the poster childs for sitting alone at lunch. In fact, it's not odd for an INFJ child to have many friends and have strong desires to be liked. However, their friends will only know the surface level of their personality. Even when an INFJ child does open up to someone they grow to trust, they will tend to feel slightly judged and confusing to other people, which results in them being skeptical to open up as time goes on. Let's be real, not every 4th grade child is drifting off in class with the pondering thought of what is the purpose of life. A child with this rare personality type has extreme thoughts and views on matters, many of which other children couldn't understand or don't have the patience to try to understand, making it extremely difficult for an INFJ child to connect. although they probably rather just observe their peers from a distance away. Number 5. Frustration over interruptions. If you're an INFJ, you know that it takes a considerable amount of effort to block out outer stimuli in order to focus and concentrate. The difficulty of switching gears is one that INFJs become quite accustomed to because they've experienced it since childhood. Once this personality type is in a state of fully focusing, a zen-like calm and meditative state comes over them where their outer world becomes irrelevant, allowing them to fully immerse themselves in their work. Therefore, when an INFJ is distracted from this place of mental creativity and pulled back to the distracting outer world, they can become irritable and frustrated. This is because, like we said, INFJs immerse themselves in thoughts or experiences they have, including talking to people. Therefore, a classroom setting can sometimes become annoying for an INFJ child who wants to perfect their work but can't escape the outer stimuli. Number 6. A preference for solitude. Just as an INFJ adult needs a considerable amount of alone time to recharge their energy and escape outer stimuli, as does the child counterpart. Children are pushed to socialize and participate as much as possible for means of developing social skills and empathy, emotions, and so on. Yet, what many parents and teachers of an INFJ child don't know is that their intuitive nature makes it so they are actually most comfortable when they're alone or in their heads. In fact, pushing an INFJ child past their social limits may lead to a type of burnout, where the child becomes extremely withdrawn and uninterested in any type of socializing. For an introverted child, solitude is just as important for their mental development as socializing is for an extroverted child. In fact, if we were to look at some of the most famous INFJ personality types such as Carl Jung, the famous Swiss psychiatrist and psychologist, they created their most brilliant work or findings during times of solitude. And number 7, an interest in dreams and meanings. Just as INFJ children are hesitant to accept things for what they are, they also tend to have an interest in the dream world as a child. Most children accept dreams for what they were and how they made them feel. A happy dream made them happy. A scary dream made them scared. Yet, an INFJ child is usually drawn to asking deeper questions, especially when they get closer to the adolescent age. This personality type is wired with introverted intuition as the preferred mental process, which is all about unconscious symbols and imagery. An INFJ child has a calling to want to know the meaning of their dreams because they intuitively know that they can find some of the answers to the biggest questions out there. As a child, it makes a little sense, yet as an INFJ practices their dream interpretation, they can pleasantly be surprised at the information that they're given. Well, that's it for today, Psychos. So, are you an INFJ who's experienced these things as a child? Let us know in the comments below. Also, don't forget to leave us a like, share this video with your friends, and also subscribe to our channel for more Psycho videos.